The 1978 book, My Book of Bible Stories, represents a significant milestone in religious literature aimed at children. Published by Jehovah's Witnesses, this widely distributed publication has shaped the religious understanding of countless young minds over decades. When examining materials designed to teach children about faith, it becomes crucial to analyze their methods and impact carefully. This book, with its distinctive approach to biblical narratives, deserves particular attention for its role in religious education and its lasting influence on young readers. Looking at the story of Peter's denial, we see a masterclass in emotional manipulation through storytelling. The narrative deliberately simplifies complex human emotions and moral choices into stark, black and white scenarios. The text employs carefully chosen language to evoke feelings of guilt and shame, particularly in young readers who might identify with Peter's moment of weakness. This approach can profoundly impact a child's developing sense of moral judgment and self-worth. The book's treatment of Jesus' trial and crucifixion reveals significant narrative manipulation. Historical complexities are stripped away in favor of a simplified narrative that serves specific emotional and doctrinal purposes. The account glosses over historical context and nuances, instead focusing on elements that elicit strong emotional responses from children. This selective storytelling shapes young readers' understanding of these pivotal events in ways that align with organizational teachings rather than historical accuracy. The presentation of paradise doctrine in the book demonstrates how complex theological concepts are reduced to simple yet psychologically powerful messages. The promise of paradise is used as both a reward and a motivational tool, while simultaneously establishing a framework of obligation and fear. This oversimplification of deep theological concepts creates a problematic dynamic, where children's hopes and fears become intertwined with organizational loyalty. In examining the resurrection narrative, we find sophisticated psychological tactics at work. The story is crafted to reinforce organizational authority while creating a dependency on the group for spiritual understanding. The presentation carefully weaves together elements of hope, divine authority, and group loyalty, establishing patterns of thought that can significantly influence a child's religious and emotional development. The Pentecost account serves as a powerful tool for establishing group identity and exclusivity. The narrative emphasizes supernatural intervention and divine approval in ways that reinforce the special status of believers. This approach creates a clear distinction between those inside and outside the group, potentially affecting how children view themselves in relation to others and their place in the world. The book's treatment of divine intervention and miracles reveals a calculated approach to establishing authority. These accounts are presented in ways that create emotional dependence while discouraging critical questioning. The emphasis on supernatural intervention can significantly impact children's developing ability to think critically about cause and effect, potentially affecting their decision-making processes well into adulthood. The martyrdom of Stephen is presented in a way that maximizes emotional impact while reinforcing group loyalty. The graphic nature of this narrative, combined with its message about faithfulness under persecution, creates powerful psychological impressions on young minds. This approach raises important questions about the appropriateness of exposing children to violent religious narratives and their potential psychological effects. Conversion narratives, particularly Paul's dramatic transformation, are utilized as powerful behavioral modification tools. These stories create expectations about dramatic personal change while establishing clear patterns of acceptable behavior. The psychological manipulation lies in how these narratives shape children's understanding of personal transformation and group conformity. The missionary journey narratives serve a specific purpose in reinforcing organizational authority. These accounts are carefully crafted to establish a sense of divine mission while creating a framework for unquestioning acceptance of organizational direction. This approach can significantly impact individual autonomy and decision-making abilities. The dramatic storytelling techniques employed throughout the book reveal a sophisticated understanding of emotional engagement. These narrative choices are not random, but carefully selected to create maximum emotional investment in the message being conveyed. The psychological impact of these dramatic elements can create lasting impressions that influence how children process and interpret religious information. The imprisonment narratives are strategically used to develop a persecution complex and strengthen group identity. These stories create a worldview where opposition from outsiders is expected and even validated as proof of righteousness. This approach can significantly impact how children view the world and their place in it, potentially creating lasting psychological effects. The examination of this book reveals consistent patterns of psychological manipulation through carefully crafted narratives, emotional triggers, and simplified theological concepts. The long-term impact of exposing children to such material warrants serious consideration, particularly in how it shapes their psychological development and worldview. This analysis underscores the importance of critically examining religious educational materials and their effects on young minds, calling for more awareness about the methods used to influence children's religious understanding and emotional development.